Hello everyone and welcome to Helix Cloud Games. My name is Richie and this is CloudQuest, a cloud gaming show where we take a deep dive into one particular topic. On this week's show we're talking about Xbox Cloud Gaming's massive increase in usership, and joining me on this quest is none other than Mr. Chris.
I still have the cream, Richie.
And this is our second time recording this intro because I spoilt why he has his cream. And if you want to know, make sure you check out all of our other shows, such as the Sounds of Stadia podcast, every single Monday on YouTube and podcast services, and our PlayStation news-based show, also on podcast services, on a Tuesday, talking the PS. And the one you want to look out for is our Stray race that happened on our Wednesday night live stream on our YouTube channel at Helix Cloud Games. Chris, 18,000% increase usership.
18,000? 1,800? Is it the same thing? Who knows? Either way, yeah, massive increase.
Did I say 18,000? It's late.
You said 18,000, yeah.
It's very warm.
For clarity, it's a very warm night here in the UK. It's currently 20 to 11, and we are banking these episodes early. Well, actually, we're banking them late at night, early because I'm going on holiday, and we've just finished our 2-hour stray race. I'm going to call it. Hence the cream. Was I the cat that got the cream at the end of the stream? You'll have to check that one out to find out.
Was he just the guy who went and bought some cream for himself?
I might have done, just to war my sorrows away. But yes, we're here. CloudQuest, Xbox, doing insane gangbuster numbers, of course. All from their own mouth, we should point out. These figures are purely from Xbox, so take it with a pinch of salt, but I'm sure they're accurate because they're only going to sing their own praises if they're doing amazingly well. And in the world of cloud gaming, 1,800 is a massive... Any business that increases itself that much is onto a winning ticket, it would seem, Richie. And in the world of cloud gaming, we don't know that much about all the other movers and shakers in the industry because they're all quite tight-lipped on their subscriber numbers, their resources, their teams. It's all very hush-hush. So for Xbox to come out and basically say, cloud gaming, in this Windows Central article, 1,800 increase. Yeah. Damn.
I want to get the pessimistic view out the way just right off the bat so then we don't have to look at it again. And just to cover our bases... 1,800% increase of nothing is still nothing. And now we have to move on to the positive stuff.
I mean, we can pretty much verify one person wasn't using Xbox Cloud Gaming. There was thousands of people out there in the world using it. Yeah. But it's a big jump, and I guess there's a lot of reasons why that's happened. So do you want to discuss breaking down the steps Microsoft have put in place to become so successful so quickly? This is less than 12 months increase, so
it is. This is in the last year, and I almost wonder I don't necessarily think this is not like, we've done all this stuff over the last 12 months and this is why this is the result. I think this has been a slow build up to this. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been alluded to on Sounds of Stadia for about 3 years now that I fully expect Microsoft to one day announce that they will no longer be a box under your TV. So they've been working at this cloud gaming stuff for quite a while. I still don't know why they got rid of the xCloud name for Xbox Moniker, Cloud Gaming.
It's a bit tidier, isn't it?
Yeah. And people will still continue to use xCloud, including myself.
Same.
But I think the biggest thing we have to point out is Game Pass. Game Pass is the reason why this is taking off.
Yeah, it's that kind of that question we always go back to, and it's with cloud gaming, and it's barrier to entry. And with cloud gaming, full stop, you don't need the hardware, which is the benefit. However, pair that with Game Pass, and you also don't need to buy the software, essentially, either. So the two biggest barriers to video gaming have always been, do you own the console? Can you afford the games? Anyone out there growing up will remember when you had to wait for your next birthday, your next Christmas, or just however long you could scrape together what little pocket money you had to buy these games. Whereas now, you just have a 1-month subscription fee and you get access to first-party titles day and date, massive AAA titles. That's not even including the Bethesda and Activision stuff to come in the future. And not only that, you get indie games, exclusive titles that they pull away from EA and Ubisoft to include on a rotating monthly basis. Yeah. Game Pass, phenomenal. Like, the subscribers alone on Game Pass have increased so much over the last few years. And then you just throw in cloud gaming as a extra perk, and that's even a low barrier. There isn't, you know what, Richie? There isn't even a barrier. That's how good this is.
There's a financial barrier, but it's not that high. But we live in a world now where subscription services are very much just normalized. Mm-hmm. We pay to watch movies or TV shows. We pay a monthly fee. To listen to music, we'll pay a monthly fee. With Game Pass, it's very much why not do that for gaming?
OnlyFans.
Yeah, for pornography we pay a monthly fee. But it's like, why not just go, well, for gaming you pay one monthly fee and then you can play all the best games that the Microsoft ecosystem has to offer wherever you damn well like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Microsoft first-party titles either. There's some big third parties that you can get on Game Pass. Or through just the cloud more specifically. And I think one of the biggest games in the world, Fortnite, is free to play on xCloud.
Yeah, that was a massive get. Fortnite. The fact that you don't even need Game Pass to play it, again, that's another barrier that you brought down. So if you are out there and you want to play Fortnite, arguably one of the biggest one of the biggest games of the last 10 years, you can just use the tech you've got, use your phone, use your computer, whatever, log in, play it without Game Pass, without a subscription, without a console, ready to go.
I mean, I straight up think it's the biggest game in the last 10 years.
Fortnite. And if you have no access to the funds, like, it's such a good entry point, and it's such a big game. I'm trying to think, when we were kids, what would be the biggest game? And someone just turned around to us on the school yard or on the school playground and said, Chris, Richie, tonight you can just go home, use your old crappy TV or your old crappy Windows 95 PC or something, and you can play Age of Empires with no money involved. You just open a link and it plays magic, and it doesn't blow your computer tower apart, doesn't break your TV. It's just there to play using the internet. Yeah,
gaming wasn't really that social when we were kids, though, was it? Because
no,
you'd talk about it occasionally, but we didn't get that many games throughout the year just because you'd have to go to buy a game. Games were expensive, and you have to wait for your birthday or Christmas usually. Or you save your pocket money.
The social aspect came from us going to each other's house to actually check out the other game which you had and I didn't have.
Well, I think
very different.
The most social experience we ever probably had with gaming was probably the original Pokemon games coming out.
Trading.
Where the social gaming element for kids nowadays is just the norm.
Yeah.
So kids will be like at school, hanging out, go home, where we'd go out and play footy till there was bats. And then our parents shouted at us for being out for too late because it was dark. Kids now will just go home and they will play Fortnite, and they'll put the headsets on and just hang out with their mates playing Fortnite.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm sure plenty of them still do play football.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying the kids don't do it. I'm not saying, kids these days, they just sit inside and play video games. You sound like such an old man. I'm just saying it does happen more. And I am a massive gamer myself, so I'm okay for that.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah,
we sit in our room all night and play video games and socialise that way. We just don't have youth on our side anymore as much. Yeah. But in terms of Fortnite, like, that's just a big win. And I think that's only the beginning. So if you look at this increase, this massive jump up in cloud gaming, obviously you've got everybody who's jumped on and tried it thanks to Game Pass. So you have Game Pass, you can just try all these games out. And we've said many times before, the benefit, one of our true loves of having Stadia is that you can, with all cloud gaming, you can try games without having to download them. So that time spent in, I've just got a game this month on PlayStation Plus. I'm not going to download it because it doesn't look like the type of game for me, and I don't want to wait 20 minutes to install the game for it to sit on my desktop for me to check it out. Whereas with cloud gaming,
20 minutes later, I go, this is not for me.
Yeah,
whereas with cloud gaming, it's endless scrolling through Netflix syndrome that you get with gaming nowadays because you've got so much choice where you just keep scrolling and jumping into stuff till you find the thing that clicks for you.
Mm-hmm. So take Game Pass and its amazing list of games, and then pair that with the fact that you want to check out Sea of Thieves, click the link, boom, there it is, it's streaming. Okay, that maybe wasn't for you. jumped out, go check out Halo instead. That wasn't for you, no problem. Jump out, go check out Forza. And like just taking away those 50, 60, 30, 40 gig downloads, whatever they may be, that's again another barrier to entry gone. So it's no wonder people got in the door with Game Pass to check out the games, and then they realised they don't have to download them. They just have to stream them. And this is what we said. This goes back to every other industry. This is why it happened to music. What do you mean I don't have to buy CDs anymore? I don't have to download the full MP3. I just click play and it's there. Yep, we've seen it with YouTube. We've seen it with movies. It's making certain parts of the industry defunct, and the library is one thing, the barrier to entry is another, but just the titles that Microsoft are investing in and the money, it's just going to bring more wins as more people get their hands on it.
I fully expect, I think going back to the kids in the schoolyard, like, I think they've got less hang-ups about how that's not proper gaming, you're doing that on a mobile phone, as people of our generation might, the next generation. They're used to having smartphones, they're used to playing games on them, but now they've got a situation in xCloud where, again, going back to Fortnite, they're sat at home playing Fortnite with their mates at home, then next day at school, oh, it's lunchtime, let's pull out our phones and play Fortnite on our phone, and just everything you've bought, all your season passes, all your cosmetics are just there, and you can just go.
Yeah, and I think you're completely right with that generational thing, that, yes, I have a fantastic collection of Blu-rays, and I love them, but will my future child care about that? Like, oh, dad's got his whole big collection up on the shelf. All their movies are just going to be on their phone, like via their Google account or whatever.
Why
and I just don't think they've got that
Shelf,
attachment.
Dad?
Yeah, it's just dad's old shelf of shit. Whereas, like, we probably had our parents with the vinyl collection or the cassette collection, and we thought, like, okay. And realistically, like you said, like, everything is on their phone. They're not going to have the attachments that we have. And
they're not going to have the hang-ups on cloud gaming. They don't.
Nope.
They probably don't even realise they're playing through the cloud. 11-year-old Timmy doesn't care whether he's playing on his Xbox or through the cloud. He's still playing the same game with his friends and having fun, and that's what he cares about. Yeah, he doesn't know what latency is.
Yeah, doesn't know what downloads are, Richie. Like, the amount of time in our lives we probably spent watching a loading screen or a downloading bar. And these kids live in a world of 5G and full fibre internet in their homes. They literally click an icon, click a link, and they're in. They're playing it, they're streaming it, they're doing whatever. And, I mean, what a world to be in, right? I mean, the level of patience, if they're told to wait more than 60 seconds for something, must go through the roof. However, it's a very different place. And like you said right at the beginning of this stream, this podcast, Microsoft are playing the long game, and they've been planting seeds for some time now, and it's starting to bear fruit. And with a number of you've got me saying it now, 1,800% increase in just 1 year, that's fantastic. And when you look at the competition, which we do every week because we analyze it for the Sounds of Stadia podcast, we've got one eye on Amazon Luna, we check out GeForce Now, we've just finished a 2-hour stream of PlayStation Plus cloud gaming, which still needs some kind of naming convention to sell, because it was PSN now it's PlayStation Plus Cloud.
It's just PlayStation Plus, and I think they're trying to get rid of the cloud gaming tag. I suspect. I mean, it's another show entirely that, but I think they're trying to get rid of it because cloud gaming stigmatized. Yeah,
but Xbox, like we said about the games, that's just one of the steps. Activision Blizzard merge is going to go through. They're going to get Call of Duty, and if you think Fortnite was big in boosting their numbers, just wait until they drop that 100 gig file size Call of Duty Warzone for free with no Game Pass subscription required, so you can play Fortnite and Call of Duty's Warzone without the 100 gig download, without deleting anything on your console, and then when you're on the move you can stream it as well, because I've seen loads of people complaining about the download patches on Warzone because it's such a massive game, and yet we know cloud gaming alleviates that. So that is 2 of the biggest franchises of all time. You can play on any device you own in the cloud using the tech you already have, thanks to Microsoft. They are riding the cloud gaming world and they're painting it green, Richie.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And they've got some big things in the work. You already mentioned like Activision Blizzard, but they have Bethesda. Starfield is probably one of the most anticipated games coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And,
very true.
Well, day and date, Game Pass. Yeah, you can just literally play that game in the cloud. And that game is probably going to be massive as well.
It looks like it from what they've shown off so far. And we should probably say as well at this halfway stage of the podcast, we seem very positive and enthusiastic about Microsoft. We are not Xbox fans.
Have you ever owned an Xbox, Chris?
I have never owned an Xbox, Richie.
I haven't. The closest I've come is I own 2 Xbox 360 controllers.
I have a personal Xbox controller.
Yeah.
That I used to test out, funnily enough, Google Stadia with a different controller on a tablet back in the day. Because I didn't want to use a DualSense and I wanted a fancy personalized color. So the game labs the controller labs, got me in on that one. So funnily enough, they got £60 out of me based on a personal controller. Win. We're sat here singing their praises. And there's definitely something in the pipeline at Microsoft, Richie, that I think will seal the deal for you and me. I don't want to commit to a console because everything they're doing with cloud gaming and everything we've seen for the last 3 years with how good Google Stadia can stream games. Obviously, we're still yet to test out Amazon Luna because it's still beholden to the USA. In the pipeline, they have a streaming stick. Project Keystone, I believe its code name is.
Yeah, I believe
and
so.
I'm pretty much under the assumption that both you and me, as soon as that gets dropped, we're getting in on this Game Pass cloud gaming malarkey and checking out some phenomenal games for practically free, it's going to feel like.
There's caveats to that as well, with it being immediately depending on the price of it and what my own finances are looking like at that time.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And also, what am I playing at the time? If I've got a huge backlog of games, I'm going, I need to get through this game so I can play this game, and then I can play this game, I'm not going to be in position to go, yeah, I need to add some more games to that list. But if it's like the dongle comes out and then there's like Starfield is on the horizon, it's like, okay, I could go for that.
Mm-hmm. And then you get one of those little promotional emails drop that says, trial it for 3 months for £3 or $3 or whatever it is. And you're like, well, that'll see me through to the new year.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm waiting for that dongle so I can play on my TV.
Yeah.
And it's in the works.
Yeah, and we know alternatively as well. I know you're in the market potentially at some point for a new TV in the years to come.
It's not looking this year because I've committed to buying a new guitar this year. So
that's why I said years to come.
Yeah, years to come.
But remember, we're still waiting on Samsung to send you one of their new 2022 TVs so you can test out and review the gaming hub for them.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, Samsung. But realistically, yeah, like the streaming stick is one thing because we all know from day one we've used Google Stadia on our Chromecasts. It's now part of the LG TVs. It's out there on a bunch of other devices. Hisense have made a partnership. It's part of the Samsung Gaming Hub. Amazon Luna just announced today, I don't know if you've seen it, Richie, they're also partnered with Samsung Gaming Hub now. So if you buy a 2022 onwards Samsung television, you boot up that TV and you want to play Fortnite or, as we've said, in the future, possibly Call of Duty Warzone, possibly Starfield, you just need your Xbox controller that we both own, your television, and the internet. And you're good to go to play these 100 gigabytes worth of games with no entry point, no download, no messing around. Just click a link, boot up the game, boosh, you're there. Bounce between Stadia, Luna, Xbox, possibly PlayStation. I've got to imagine they'll have a smart app in the works at some point.
They'll be late to it.
Late to the party. And then Nintendo a decade later.
Yeah, Nintendo are having a party or off on their own.
Yeah, they're in a different office block celebrating.
But Nintendo are off on their own, having their own party, but everyone's still turned up, so they don't care.
Oh, yeah. And I just think it's crazy because, Xbox for me, and you as well, most likely, it's not really been part of our friends' conversation. Most of our friends are predominantly PlayStation, like you and me are. Yeah. And that's just kind of the way we've grew up. There's the consoles we've been handed down by our parents, and we've just bought into them. And, we started playing Google Stadia 3 years ago nearly, and that kind of opened our eyes to what cloud gaming could be and how convenient it is and the lack of downloads and just the accessibility features. And now we're looking out at everyone else. And the great thing with cloud gaming, it really is that it breaks those barriers down, that because I don't have to commit to a £500, £400 console, I can happily just bounce between them with monthly subscriptions and plans. Like I tried Game Pass Ultimate probably about a year or so ago. No problems with it. It was great. There was just no games that I wanted to play continuously. So I let it lapse, and then I went back to PlayStation for Horizon and Last of Us and stuff. And in the future, I'll definitely be tempted to come back. I'm definitely in for the Indiana Jones game that Machine Games are working on. Down for that. So I'll be back for that game, no doubt. Starfield, I've got one eye on it.
Everything.
And it's cloud gaming really just make it accessible. So it's no surprise that they've seen such a rise in percentage of people, because I think with the Xbox brand, with that comes that safe, reliable, foundation that they're not going anywhere, which I think the other ones, like, no disrespect, but Stadia, Google, Amazon, and Luna, and GeForce Now to an extent, they struggle with their not notoriously gaming companies, and getting people to buy into that mantra, that model, it's a hard task. It's a big marketing push. Whereas you slap an Xbox logo on something and immediately you've got the team in green coming out there to support their beloved console and franchise. So
I think Microsoft are very much on their route to being the de facto cloud gaming platform.
I would agree with that.
By not trying to be a cloud gaming platform outright. That's the problem Stadia has. Anyone who's just like, oh, cloud gaming's terrible latency, never touched it though. They're not touching that Luna or Stadia. Stadia's obviously bad launch, and it's arguably lackluster library going forward. Hasn't helped. PlayStation have a lot of kinks to work out with the quality of their streams.
Yep.
Go watch our Stray race if you want to see exactly what I'm talking about there. Chris had some technical issues, which did interrupt the stream a bit. Great content though. Nintendo obviously they dabble to bring on certain games, but it feels like they're very just going, okay, well, we can try this out. Nintendo don't feel like they're making any sort of big plays in cloud gaming yet.
Yeah, Nintendo do what Nintendo do, don't they?
Yeah.
And they make millions off of it, so we can't focus too much.
And GeForce Now, I think the biggest problem they have is it's the fact that their ecosystem's so fragmented between a lot of different platforms. And you have to log into different ones, and so
getting in the weeds of it all. But I think the core concept of what Microsoft are doing, like you said, their biggest benefit is the cloud gaming element is a supplement to what everybody is already familiar with. They're introducing Game Pass. They're getting people comfortable with the idea of Game Pass. They put all their eggs in that basket. Loads of people don't like the thought of it just being subscription-based. They want to own their games, and obviously Microsoft still give you the option to just buy the game outright. PlayStation now have their PlayStation Plus rebrand with their tiers, and it's doing some good things, but at the same time, they're still asking for £70, $80 outright for their premium AAA titles. And eventually, if we look at the other industries, for example, I think Microsoft very much count on Game Pass forcing everyone else's hand into being a subscription model. And ironically enough, Richie, Stadia might be one of the last places you can actually buy your games a la carte and have without having to subscribe, which is crazy.
I personally hope we don't see that future. I like choice.
Yeah.
It's why one of the reasons I like Stadia. You have the choice, so you can get your Stadia Pro games, or you can just buy them. It's why I'm kind of less hot, apart from the fact that Luna isn't in the UK still. It's why I'm less hot on Luna a bit, because I don't like the idea of subscription model only. Like, because I feel like I'm getting forced into paying for games that I don't necessarily want, and then with all the different channels and stuff, you end up with about 8 different subscriptions. Where with Game Pass, you have that one subscription, and then you can also buy games. So It feels like the best of both worlds.
So, to bring it back around though, Fortnite, great move. Without the Game Pass subscription, great move. Game Pass bringing more titles to the platform, just day one AAA games. That library's only going to get bigger as well with the more first party games they put out. In the Windows Central article, Gluckstein, who is one of the Catherine Gluckstein, who's the lead Xbox Cloud Gaming, sat down and gave an update. She says Xbox Cloud Gaming's hourly use has grown by 1,800 in the last past year alone, emphasizing Microsoft is working to meet demand with additional servers across the globe. In a recent call to investors, Microsoft noted its plans to double Xbox Cloud Gaming server capacity in the coming year as more and more heavy hitters appear permanently as part of the service. So that's another thing. They're investing, and I think we saw them upgrade last year to the Series X replica server blades, which that's again something that's lamented other cloud gaming services where they've not made moves to upgrade their hardware behind the scenes, their servers. We've seen GeForce Now do it with the 3080 tier. We've seen Microsoft do it with the Series X tier. And we haven't really heard much from Stadia or Luna on the terms of where their tech's at or where their tech's going. And eventually, you've got to imagine they have to step up at some point, because as with all technology, if you stay still, you get left behind and you become obsolete and redundant. And in the games world, you need to keep ticking over. That's why we have new console generations, because eventually the old stuff gets left behind. And
yeah, absolutely.
With cloud gaming, you need to be at the cutting edge of that, because you're pushing the tech forward by nature of what your platform is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Microsoft seem to be on the right path. They're telling us that they're growing. They're telling us that they're investing. Sony need to sort the tech out. Amazon need to realise most people don't live in the US. Stadia need to actually do something. GeForce Now need to work out the kinks, I think, in their UI and stuff. But I think the cloud gaming future is very much upon us. I don't expect
certainly
to be sat here next year talking about another 1,800% increase. That number will go down because relatively cloud gaming is still relatively small, even for Microsoft. So it is easier to go. That's a boasting number that they've looked at it, but that's why I mentioned jokingly at the pessimistic point at the start. 1,800% of nothing is still nothing. The bigger that the actual user base gets, the harder it will be to maintain that growth number. But that's just normal. That's just it's mathematics.
Certainly. But if we look at to summarize, if we look at the future though, hardware-wise, Microsoft will put out another Xbox console in the next 5 to 6 years potentially. The Series W, whatever it looks like. And then what they'll do is they'll announce that Xbox cloud gaming servers are getting upgraded to the Xbox Series W, or you know what I mean, hypothetically, whatever that looks like. So they have a roadmap already, just off the back of they will have another console generation to combat the PlayStation 6 in the future. So there's an upgrade half a decade down the line, guaranteed. Next up, you've got the list of games. As we said, all of the studios they've acquired, all of the IP, all the franchise, all of the talent now that works at Microsoft, their games won't be out. I mean, they will be out. They're gradually sprinkled over the next 5 to 6 years. That's content coming. Game Pass isn't going to go anywhere now. They've put too many eggs in that basket. They could not turn their back on Game Pass in a million years now. Even as a lost leader, it has to be there to bring it in. It's like Netflix suddenly turn around and going, you now have to buy your movies a la carte rather than stream them as a subscription model. It ain't going to happen.
Netflix is a bit of a bad model because they recently just put up the prices and pissed everyone off.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But they would never turn around and say, our subscription model isn't working. You have to buy the movies outright like you used to back in the day. Like, you can't go back from a subscription model by nature of what it does. You can't give everyone everything for a fee and then take that model away. So I think Game Pass is here for forever, until something happens to Microsoft, which I don't think will ever happen. They make far too much money. And then the actual hardware, they will put out a new controller in the future, Richie, that will have compatibility with Game Pass.
They're already talking about upgrading the Xbox One controller to match some of the features of DualSense.
Yeah. So that's more hardware in your hands, the more content from the streaming sticks, which means the accessibility is going to be there. And it just kind of makes you think and then they've got the foundation of the 20 years worth of experience and legacy, and then the funds to back it all up. And when you think about that categorically, if you look at all of those check boxes, what a gamer looking to commit to a platform wants, you can't really say they're doing anything wrong. And I think this growth will just continue as more people, as you said, the younger generation embrace cloud gaming. And Microsoft are just, for me, they are the front runner completely on all fronts.
Yeah, and all that from a Sony pony.
Someone who absolutely loves and adores PlayStation. So and Stadia, of course, 150 episodes of a Stadia podcast. So I'm here to embrace all tech, but I will praise it when it's damn deserved. And Microsoft had a bad run last generation, and they've took their learnings and they've reassessed their business plan to great degrees.
I don't necessarily think Microsoft had a bad run. I think Sony just had an exceptional one.
They had a bad run.
In comparison, there was some good games, and like they got all the big third parties and stuff. It's just Sony's first parties over the PS4 generation absolutely crushed it.
Okay,
they went for a run of about 5 years where it felt like they couldn't bring out a first party title without it absolutely doing blockbuster stuff.
Yeah, it is kind of ironic to look back and think the biggest bit of stick they got was the always connected requirement of their Xbox One, and now cloud gaming by default has to be always connected. And it caused them so many problems, whereas I think the world just wasn't ready for it. What do you mean I need to be connected to the internet the whole time? That's how everyone lives their lives now. We're all connected to the internet at all given moments practically.
Yeah, it's just I think people weren't ready because it was a big change. I think cloud gaming's the next one, but that's all we have.
It's that Marty McFly moment where it's like, it's too much for you now, but your kids are going to love it.
Yeah. But that's all we have time for this week. If you like the video, hit that like button and consider becoming a member for as little as 99p, where you can get early access to this very show. And if you've got a topic you want us to discuss, head over to our Discord server. There's a link in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been Richie. Chris has shown me some cream.
I still have the cream. My name's been Chris.
Quest completed.